Peace, beautiful people. It's your girl Nima Tulai, your favorite Reiki master, medical medium, and diviner. And welcome back to the channel. So today is pretty impromptu, but I did promise I think she's a subscriber, whoever it was, commented, wanted to know more about Reiki and how I became a Reiki master. So I decided I would just tell you guys this today. It is a beautiful second or third day of fall. I don't know. The time is going by really fast. I thought I had a doctor's appointment today, and that is not the case. So I am out here just enjoying the weather as best as I can. It's a bit breezy, so if you hear any rustling, that's from like the trees and stuff. So essentially, Reiki is energetic healing from source through a practitioner, which is me, onto you. It is pretty much life force energy. That is the translation. Reiki is a word from the Japanese language. It was originally founded from a man named Miyako Usui, and he originally did this pilgrimage to a mountain, and eventually he and God connected, or him and Source connected, and he was granted the power of Reiki, and which is pretty much life force energy. Now, what Reiki does is pretty much activate your energetic body and the natural healing that we all possess as human beings, as living life forms, because you can also do Reiki on plants as well as animals. So I'm not sure if you could do it on inanimate objects. I haven't really tried. I mean, I did try to Reiki my laptop because I was desperate and it didn't work. So now you know. So Reiki is pretty much energetic healing from source through me to you. Now there's 3 levels of Reiki. There is Reiki 1, which is basic of the basic. You don't know any sacred you don't know any sacred symbols. You pretty much just get attunement, which is pretty much an initiation into the practice, and then you're pretty much allowed or given the rights to perform Reiki on yourself, as well as no, not on others, for really just for yourself. And then as you move on into level 2, that's when you get another attunement or initiation, where you go through the first set of, I think it's like, how many did I learn? I think I learned, because this is over a span of 3 years, that I've learned all 3 of my levels. So I didn't go back to back to back like some people, and that is how you do it, but I'll talk about it in a little bit. So yeah, so there is, I think you learn the first 3, no, yeah, you do. You learn the first 3 symbols, and I'm not going to say what they are, but pretty much you learn those 3 symbols, and then you are now granted access to perform Reiki on others as well as yourself, and you can now charge to be a Reiki master, a Reiki practitioner. Then Reiki level 3 is master level. That's when you learn the master symbol, and that pretty much is again an attunement, initiation, and you're kind of exposed to the other more heavier energies, at least in my experience. I've experienced a lot heavier energy when it comes to being a master versus being a practitioner. Now, my story is that I became a Reiki master Reiki practitioner for level 1 back in, I believe, 2019. And hold on. Okay, we are back. So yeah, I became a Reiki practitioner back in 2019, and I was practicing for a couple months in between that. Now, I know most Reiki practitioners or masters kind of took the courses back to back to back, because really it for some reason only takes a weekend, and I was kind of shocked about that too when I first started. I thought it was going to be like at least a week or 2, maybe a month of training, but really the training is extremely simple. And I think the fact of the matter is that it's a natural gift that we all are allowed to possess. So there's no real like Eurocentric certification process about it, really. I mean, it is because it's certified or whatever, but it's not a lengthy process like going to college or getting any other training or trade certificate, even though you're dealing with people's energetic body, and that's a danger within itself if you don't know what you're doing. And not everybody is naturally gifted in maintaining energy, and also the fact that when it comes to training, they don't really talk about the energetic cleansings or the different possibilities of excuse me, the different possibilities of when things go wrong and stuff like that. Now, my master teacher did a fairly good job in explaining what could possibly happen. I don't remember how long she's been practicing, but yeah, it was her first time being a Reiki master teacher. So I was a part of like her day one class and all that stuff. So she taught as best as she could when it came to what she knew from her teacher and her experience. And I learned a lot. So yeah, and I brought that up just because somebody, I forget his name on YouTube, but I'll probably link his video below. He like called out the Reiki community. He was like, it's like a lot of capitalistic energy and stuff like that. And I'm like, it's going to be like that simply because we are in a Piscean, we are coming out of the Piscean age. It's some residual energy. So it's a lot of delusions of grandeur. It's a lot of fake people out here, fake healers, the fake woke healers and stuff like that. So he made some very valid points in his video. I can't remember his name right now, but I will link it below so you guys can see that. So if you are interested in Reiki and being a Reiki master, as far as it was explained to me that you have to get another certification to be a teacher. Now, in some other places that may not be the case, but as far as I know, that's what I was told. I'll have to look into that. As of right now, I'm not teaching anybody, but I will let you guys know as soon as I do. I am offering different forms of Reiki healing and stuff like that when it comes to like my own personal service. But yeah, sorry, I'm kind of getting a little all over the place, so bear with me. Like I said, it's really impromptu. I just want to make sure I have a video out for you guys this week. So yeah, so 2019, a couple months goes by. In 2020, sometime in 2020, I got I think it was fall 2020. That's when I became a level 2, a Reiki practitioner 2, and I received the other all the symbols for that level. And at that point, my life was really on a flip. The thing about energetic healing, the thing about Reiki that a lot of people don't talk about is that, and this is something that was very much drilled in my teaching, was that your life is going to change as soon as you start dealing with Reiki. It may seem like it's for the worst, but it's really for your highest good. And when I say that, for me, in my experience, the man that I've been dating, my high school sweetheart that I was dating for almost 9 years, we broke up in 2019. We broke up like around New Year's, 2018, 2019. We broke up around New Year's. And that was like after my first session with a different practitioner that was even my teacher, but she was a level 2 at that time. And I had gone to her for a couple sessions, and she had like, she did some ancestral Reiki, which is what I offer as well, on me. And she clarified a lot of the things that I knew within myself, but also gave me a lot of info about what's to come and stuff like that. So I don't even think certain things people can tell you, but it's like, all right. And then when you're actually in it, it's a whole nother experience, right? You adjust y'all real quick. So it's like a whole nother experience. So, excuse me. It's not the Rona. It's the seasonal changes. Mind your business. So my ex and I broke up. He went literally like crazy on me. I don't know what happened, what was wrong with him on his end. But on my end, me and my spirits was like, hell no. Like, I was this close to being a preacher's wife, because he was he was about to go to seminary. I was this close to being a pastor's wife, y'all. Yeah. So, and I come from a Muslim background, so can you imagine? Anyway, so there was that. What else? Friendships out the wazoo that I've had for years, just falling, gone. My home environment was always toxic, but it was just like, the more I got older, the more I felt more trapped, because I'm very much a free spirit. And And y'all know about the story between my relationship with my mother. She's very much a controlling person. She is like the darker end of what a Capricorn is on the spectrum, you know? So that was already there. So the things that I was finding refuge in and peace in were being taken from me. And it was like I was being forced to really look at my situation. And mind you, I could not find a job for shit, okay? For shit. I graduated international honors from Lock Haven University back in 2017. I had scholarships. I went to the, what is it? The capital? Is it the capital? What is that? You know, every state got their capital. So I went to the capital in Harrisburg, and I talked to senators about different things. And, you know, I studied abroad. I did a 6-month internship at Puebla TV, which is like pretty much PBS from Mexico. And, you know, I have all this experience under my belt, but for whatever reason, Spirit was like, you are not working. You are not working for anybody. I did find work, but it wasn't like a full-time job. Like, I wasn't given the dream job, or I wasn't able to achieve the dream job or the dream status that I thought I was going to achieve, that the government, that society said that you would achieve when you graduated. So I was one of those people that could not find nothing. I did a bunch of temporary jobs. I did a bunch of, like, you know, independent contractor jobs. I was a substitute. I was a GoPuff driver. What else was I? I was a TSS, therapeutic support staff. I was an intern at a podcast station, which was something that was related to my degree and what I wanted to do, because I wanted to work for the entertainment industry, but more like be on camera or even work behind the scenes of it and stuff like that. And being like an anchor or TV personality per se. I know I need to clarify that because people like entertainment and all that stuff. So I was with that podcast internship for a year and a half, and these motherfuckers just kept empty promising me that I would get paid, that I would get hired. I was 1 out of 10 interns that originally came to be, and by the time I left, I was the only one there, and they had just hired a new intern, and that was because I was dropping hints that I was leaving. So I don't even know if that girl ended up staying long enough like I did, but yeah. Like, it was like the companies that I worked for just showed me consistently that they didn't value their employees, especially their independent contractors, which is why I'm not really mad at this whole great resignation that's going on, because it's what y'all asses get, period. But anyway, that's a side note. So I just want to go on that tangent because it's very, very likely that if you are new to Reiki, your life is going to change for the better. Now, granted, like I said, it may not look that way at first. Like, I went through a lot of emotional stress. I personally, because of the way I was dealing with my stress or lack thereof, not even dealing with my emotions, because I know the stereotype for Pisces is like, oh, we're so emotional. It's like, not necessarily. Like, at least for me, in my case, I push back my emotions a lot. I tend to escape a lot. So I was masking a lot. So it was like I was being forced to really pay attention to what was going on internally and how it was reflecting externally in my life. And a lot of the people were just trauma bonds in my life completely. And when I finally connected with my ancestors and I finally connected with my spiritual team, they was like, she finally woke up. Like, you know. So Reiki was literally a door. And that's the best way I could describe it to you. Long story short, Reiki is a door for spiritual ascension. It is not the only door, granted, but it is one of the many doors, one of the many paths that you can take to elevate. It does not stop at Reiki. There are so many various healing modalities, energetic healing modalities, such as what I heard recently is prana energetic healing or something like that. There's apparently holy fire Reiki, which I didn't know too much about, but I feel like I technically, after researching it a little bit, I feel like I naturally do it already. So yeah, I don't know. I feel like everybody has their own gifts when it comes to this, and for me, finding out that my medical mediumship was tied to Reiki or energetic healing, period. It takes on certain forms of other energetic healing that people are getting certified in, but it's just like I already naturally do it. Not to be cocky or anything like that, but it's just something that to be mindful of if you decide to do this as well. So energetic healing is, like I said, a door, right? So fast forward again, my whole situation, kicked out, everything, middle of the pandemic, no job, unemployment, blah, blah, blah. The support that I did have around me helped me find the apartment that I'm in now. And, you know, I'm not going to say it's been a smooth ride since, because it really hasn't. I'm getting better at my emotions and handling it. Oh, that's something I meant to say. So what really triggered my my deep dive into spirituality, because I had an altar in college, but I was doing it the Wicca way, and my ancestors was like, bitch. Bitch. It's like, no, my ancestors don't talk to me like that. But it was one of those, like, nigga, like one of those things. So I got high blood pressure because I wasn't really taking care of myself emotionally or physically at all. Again, the whole escapism thing. And I really thought a lot of the stuff that was going on around me was personal, and not personal in the way you think, like you didn't do anything wrong. But that's how I was taking it. It was personal for your evolutionary growth, but it wasn't personal like you did anything wrong. It was pretty much you chose this life, and this is part of the steps that you have to take to get to where you want to go for the path that you chose. Contrary to common belief, we do choose our life. We do choose our path when we come to Earth, because Earth is a school. It's a training school for the soul. So it's one of the hardest ones according to metaphysics and astrology and so many other spiritual sciences. So there's that. And yeah, so like I said, I got my apartment and everything, and it hasn't really been smooth sailing. It's been really hard. I am entering back into the workforce. Well, I still have spiritually abstract. I'm still doing that, but realistically, given the fact that things are opening back up again, it makes more financial sense for me to get some kind of job on the side just to continue to boost spiritually abstract until I can go back to being a full-time entrepreneur until then, because that's one of the hardships of entrepreneurship is you have your highs and you have your lows. And when I was on a high, it was great. And then when the lows came, I was prepared, but you can only be prepared for so much. It's kind of like a learn as you go thing. So especially for spiritual entrepreneurship, because there's no real handbook on spiritual entrepreneurship. It's not like doing something for personal finances or publicists or something like that. Like it's completely different ball game. And yeah, you kind of gotta just really surrender and listen to your spiritual team and your spiritual counsel and take care of yourself as much as possible. Because I'm personally at a point where I don't even though every healer has a healer that they go to, I've stopped even trying to get readings from my own healers that I trust, because I'm just at a point where, like, I just really need to just know what the God in me and what my spiritual counsel has in store for me, and I don't need any outside interpretations of what that is, if that makes sense. So not saying that everybody is going to get to that point. You may not. It's just somewhere that I'm at right now, because a lot of people, when it comes to interpretation of energy, of spirit and stuff like that, it's a lot of biases. And if people don't remove their ego from the reading, then you get hit with a lot of confusing, misinterpreted messages. You know what I'm saying? Like, for example, I was told I'm not going to work for somebody else anymore, because I had just had a job and the quarantine took it from me. And it was like the green light to be like, okay, start spiritually abstract, go ham. And I was like, okay. And it was like, okay. And my reader said, like, you won't have to work for anybody else again. And it's like, okay. And that was the case for almost 2 years. And then it was like something changed somehow, some way. And it was like, all right, go back to work part-time or something like that, and work on spiritually abstract full-time. So that's what I'm doing. It was really hard to kind of like let go of that, but it's like, okay, maybe the interpretation was a little different than what my reader said it initially was. So yeah, just, I don't know where this tangent goes. I just feel like I have to say this because I went through so much that wasn't said that it would have been nice to hear about, but everybody's path is different, so there's only so much people can tell you. So I'd rather tell y'all what I know, so just in case y'all start seeing the signs and stuff like that, y'all be like, okay, yeah, Nima did mention this. Even if I'm not your Reiki master, I am somebody that master teacher. I'm somebody that you could come to and ask questions, and even if it's not to book a session, if you just want 30 minutes of my time, you could do stuff like that where you just want to pick my brain. I have that option on my website. I believe that's everything. And you guys have seen vlogs. If you haven't, I'm gonna try to link a vlog of my first Reiki master work event at this poetic experience here in Philly. There were some issues that you guys didn't see on camera, but again, it got done, it was finished, it was awesome at the end of the day, and that's all that really matters. Just want to let y'all know, just because you're spiritual, just because you're on this path, it does not mean, just because you know more than the average person, does not mean that hardships aren't going to follow you, okay? It just means you have a little bit more in your arsenal to handle them, right? So whether that's going to your altar, whether that's doing a divination on something, whether that's understanding that this certain transit or this certain conjunction in the sky is causing this and that, you just have a little bit more tools in your arsenal to handle it rather than the average person. So yeah. And one thing I could say for anybody that is interested in being a spiritualist or being a Reiki master, period, or a Reiki practitioner, period, is you have to have a certain level of emotional intelligence, not only for yourself, but for others, okay? There's going to be times where spirit tells you something is going to happen with this person, but they don't tell you that to tell the person, if that makes sense. Like, I've had a client who was so madly in love with this guy she was dating, but they were on a break or whatever, and I saw that she assumed that they were going to rekindle the relationship, but on my end, and from what the spirits are saying, is it wasn't going to happen. But they said, don't say anything. For whatever reason, that message, me telling her that it wouldn't happen, will probably push her on another path. So it was something that she needed to experience for herself. So that being said, there's going to be times where spirit tells you something, but it's just going to be like, okay. And the way I segued that was just just be mindful. I forget what I exactly said. I didn't say exactly that, but I just said your spirits are gonna talk to you about that situation. That's not something that they want me to speak on right now. Simple, no harm, no foul. It is just what it is, because that's just a lesson that person needed to learn, whether it was good or bad. Lesson is not really a good or bad thing. It's just what it is to get you to the next level. So let's see, any other Reiki tips? Oh, energetic cleansing. Y'all gotta take y'all spiritual baths if y'all are gonna be Reiki masters, energetic healers, tarot, whatever, sound bath people, massagers, especially, even though y'all aren't necessarily dealing with energy, but you still are, because you're in that person's body. You're dealing with their muscles, their stress, their emotions, all of that. Y'all are not doing y'all spiritual cleansings, and it shows. You're wondering why you're all of a sudden so cranky and angry when you was just fine 2 seconds ago, and you're not usually a person that emotionally switches like that. Cleansing at least once a week when you're doing these type of intricate and intimate works with other people is hella important. I don't know how many times I had to learn that lesson the hard way, having mental breakdowns that came out of nowhere, that had nothing to do with me, because it was somebody else's energy. Somebody else, okay? Worrying about stuff that had nothing to do with my personal life. I'm like, why am I even thinking about this? And I'm like, that's why I say you have to have emotional intelligence, and you have to have also emotional maturity to know when it's your emotions and when it's somebody else's emotions, especially when you're doing Reiki, because sometimes you'll feel a crick in your neck, sometimes you'll feel a lot of pain in your stomach, and it's like, yo, I wasn't feeling that way 2 seconds ago, but really it's the person that you're dealing with, and they may or may have not disclosed that they were going through a certain physical ailment or emotional ailment at that time. Not because they did it purposely, it's just may have slipped their mind because they're new or whatever else is going on. So spiritual hygiene is essential. So that means you'll have to work with herbs, most likely, because that's one of the best ways to do it. Nature is the ultimate healer. So working with herbs is one of the best ways to heal your energetic body and keeping yourself and your aura clean and protected. And there's other tools as well, but also it's a mental thing. Like, if you believe you're protected, then you are protected. If you believe you got nothing but iron gates around you, then guess what? You got nothing but iron gates around you. Can't nobody come through without permission. Right? So yeah, is that it, y'all? Yeah, they said that's it. All right, so thank you guys for watching this. If you are new, appreciate you. If you made it to the end, I appreciate you. I see 22:44 on the clock, so that's angel numbers, and we appreciate that. Don't know what that means yet, but we're gonna Google it. Actually, internally it feels like a job well done, but I'm still Google it anyway because I'm a millennial. What can I say? So make sure you hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, hit that all notification button so you don't miss any more videos. Am I missing anything else? Oh, the Ancestral Reiki, the Ancestral Womb Reiki Circle is going to be on October 25th. It's a 3-week Reiki Circle ritual process for Black women of the diaspora, 7 of them. There's an application process for that, just because Spirit wants to make sure that, like, the people that are going to be a part of this are really serious about their healing and healing not only their trauma, but their bloodline's trauma as well. I originally was going to have this during cancer season, but because I went on that river retreat thing, I was a lot more energetically drained than I expected. So that's why I moved it to Scorpio season. Scorpio season deals with the water, so it'll be helpful to have the stars aligned with us when we do that ceremony. So if you are interested, there is a payment plan. The payment plan is only available as early as you apply. I am looking at applications on the daily now, because as we are getting closer to the date, it is now fall. So holla at me on my email on my email, and as well as my social media handles at Spiritually Abstract, at Nima Tulai. Everything will be linked in the description below. And yeah, I hope you guys have a blessed day, and until next time, peace. Fantastic.
Ignore the July date, that is a typo. Deadline is 10/20 to 21.